Alright, hello everyone out there. Hopefully I got all this video done this time and everything was done right and well. I had a couple of glitches, so I had to restart. So I wanted to put a little a preface in here that this video is in response to Viking Preparedness Viking Training Task 3, where he said to unpack and repack and to go through all your stuff. And so tonight what I did is I went through my EDC and my get home bag, and I want to put in, and I know I say it in the beginning, that my EDC is a part of my get home bag and my get home bag is a part of my bug out bag. And so there's very little duplication between them, but one complements the other. And the idea being that you have one set of tools that you use and you're in them. Like with my get home bag, I'm in that bag every day. If I leave my property and I'm going more than, let's say, down to the corner to get a carton of milk, I have that bag with me. And the idea of that bag is to get me back home to where I want to be, because I agree with Pastor Joe Fox when he says your bug out location should be where you live right now. This is plan A right here. And so my job, or my duty, or my purpose is to get back home to where all my good stuff is. Now, does that mean I don't have a plan B or a C or a D? That's not the case. That my plan A is to get home, and then my plan B might have to be go somewhere else, and be prepared to do that, which I am. So we continue to do this and we continue to move forward. But the one thing I want to emphasize through all of this is it doesn't matter how big or how small your bag is, as long as it's a bag you can use. Like I said, my get home bag could operate as a bob. I can function out of that, but my bob actually has a few more things to make life a little bit easier for me and my family. So it's a balance. And of course, weight has a lot to do with, like Pastor Joe says, you know, if you never humped a 65-pound backpack, and that's what your bob weighs, and you think you're going to hop out of your truck and start rucking that over hill and dale, you have a rude awakening coming. So anyhow, this is just a preload. This is just to remind everybody that this is a part of Viking Training Task 3. For me, it's going to be part A, and then hopefully before the weekend is out, I will do part B, which will be the rest of my bug out bag. So stay tuned, and there's more coming up. All right, today I'm going to talk about my EDC and my get home bag. I may have to split this a little bit and let it process, because it didn't do well the first time I did this. So I want to start out with a couple caveats. One is all this stuff fits in about a 20-liter bag. I'm not showing the bag. It's just a nondescript bag. You can get them almost anywhere. The other caveat is that you will, in this video, I carry a loaded firearm. I am trained to carry a loaded firearm. I have a license to carry a loaded firearm. Your safety is your concern and your responsibility. This video does not give you any permission, any act to do anything different than what you are qualified and capable of doing. Okay, that being said, you will not see me clear a weapon. You will not see me unload a weapon. That's just the way I keep them. It is me, it is not you. Alright, so that being said, moving along, I'm going to talk about my EDC stuff. My EDC stuff is stuff I carry with me every time I leave my property. And a lot of times I'm carrying it around with me on my property. It's just it's only about 6 items, not a whole lot, but it seems to work for me. So starting off, I have car keys, I have a wallet, I carry a little notepad with me to write, sketch, give phone numbers, tear out a piece. It's just it's a write in the rain, which means it's pretty impervious to water. It's thin, fits in my shirt pocket right next to my cell phone, and I use it. Along with that, I carry a pen. This is a compact pen. You pull this out, turn it around like that. The pen is made by Zebra, however I have modified it a little bit so that it'll take a Fisher Space Pen ink refill, and that's a pressurized ink refill that will write underwater, up in space, upside down, right side up, on anything. It works well with the Write in the Rain notebooks. That's why I do that. Along with that, I've talked about this before, I carry a AAA battery flashlight in my pocket. I really like this light. It's very bright. It does a good job for me. It sits in my pocket. I use it daily. I use it as part of my profession. It's just a great little light. I carry a Zippo lighter with me. A lot of people talk bad about Zippos, but I've been carrying them for 40 plus years. The secret to a Zippo lighter is you can, if you maintain it, in other words, about once a week, usually every Thursday or Friday, I go in my cabinet, I pull out my lighter fluid, and I fill this up. I keep spare flints inside this. I've carried these with me the whole time I was in the Army. In fact, there was a time when we would go on Air Force jets, cargo jets, where you were not allowed to carry a BIC, but you can carry a Zippo. And it's always worked for me. I've never had, people say, oh this, oh that. I've never had that problem. I've been in the desert. I've been in subarctic. I've been wet. It just works. The one thing I like about a Zippo is that you can light it and you can set it down and it'll continue to burn. So if I have a bunch of tinder, I can hold a bunch of tinder over it. I can warm my hands. This puts out quite a bit of heat, for you to warm your hands with. I love them, but you got to keep up with them. On my belt, I carry a Victorinox Swiss tool. I happen to like the steel a little bit better on a Swiss tool than some of the other brands. I've been carrying Swiss Army knives for 50 years almost, and so the steel is just a good, tough, edge holding steel. I like them a lot. The knives themselves are great. Sometimes I carry this knife with me. This is a Benchmade bug out. It's about a 3.5 inch blade. It's got that S30V steel. I'm not a big steel guy. If I can get it sharp and keep it sharp, that's good. This does it for me. What I like about this is it's very lightweight and I can carry it with me. Alright, so that's my EDC, and those are the things I carry with me. I'm looking at my time here in hopes that I can hopefully get this done. I'm going to break this video up a little bit, and so in fact I think I'm going to do that now, so I will be right back. Alright, welcome back. Got done with my EDC kit, moving into my get home bag. But before I get there, I want to talk about my cell phone, because as part of my EDC / get home bag is I carry my cell phone and I carry a selfie stick, which is what I'm using right now to record this video, and I carry an extra tripod, one of these little Gorilla Pod thingies that I can be able to, and I've got other stuff in here. This stuff here in this little pouch that allows me to do a podcast or a YouTube video from anywhere. So just be aware that some of the stuff that's actually I keep in my bag, I'm also using it right now. All right, I'm gonna move a little faster this time because I took a long time last time and it didn't like the length of the video or the gigabytes. So it's about 1 gigabyte for 10 minutes of play, so I'm going to be a little more careful. So not in any specific order, I'm just going to kind of go through this stuff and chat briefly about it. This is my canteen cup. Name of my YouTube channel, I always have a canteen cup with me. This is a filter. It's a chemical and biological filter. It's one of these, dunk the bottle, screw the lid on, and then drink out of it. It's got, what I like about it, it's got instructions right on the side how to use it. Right along with that, I have another Camelback. This is a quart. Actually, it's a pint size. It's 16 ounces. Canteen, I keep it empty. The reason being is I'm always around convenience stores. If something happens, the balloon goes up somewhere, I'm 98% sure I'd have enough time to stop at a convenience store, probably top off my gas tank and get water and some food off the shelves before everybody knew what happened and be back on my way. So that's why I don't keep water in that, because water goes stale if you don't change it out. Anyhow, getting into some of the hardware, I have a Glock. This is a Glock 27 that I modified into a Glock 26. Inside it I have a Magpul PMag 12 round magazine. Again, I keep it loaded. You do whatever level you're comfortable with. This is a holster I keep. I do not keep this pistol on my person all the time because of my business, because of my profession. It's not always appropriate for me to be always packing, and I have to be sensitive to the people I serve. So, but if I'm in somebody's house, my truck's at the curb, and believe me, if I think things are a little janky, then yeah, I will carry. Which brings me to this. This is my holster. It's an inside the waistband holster. What I like about it is the gun just fits, pops right out. And I keep this in my bag, so if I have to, I just slide it in my hip and away I go. Alright, and also too, I have a 15 rounder Magpul PMag magazine. This is for a Glock 19. Now the thing about this is this magazine fits my Glock 26 perfectly, even though it's a little longer at the bottom. So I keep these because a lot of people carry Glock 19s, and so you have a spare mag. Okay, talking about my phone, and I mentioned this in another video, a technology bag. And this is my technology bag. This is what I use to keep my cell phone running, because it's important to keep your cell phone running. And check out my other video where I talk more about that. I'm trying to cut back on time here. I keep 2 contractor grade trash bags. Lots of uses: ground cloth, shelter, poncho, you name it. I keep 2 of these. I also keep a can of Red Saber pepper spray gel. This is the industry standard. This is what most of the police around here use. You should have at least one non-lethal method of breaking contact with somebody. If you shoot somebody, that can get messy in many different ways. However, a quick shot of this will probably give you enough time to get somewhere else away from whoever it is that's bothering you. So I keep this with me too. Again, it stays in my bag. If things look a little hinky, I'll slip it in my pocket. Also too, for those that are in states where you can't carry a gun in church, here you go. And something is better than nothing. Moving along those lines, I have a first aid kit. It's nothing. It's a half trauma kit, half Bobo kit. It's got a SWAT T tourniquet. It's got a depressurizing needle, decompression needle. I've got a syringe. I've got some meds and some antiseptic stuff in little foil pouches. Man, I think it's fixing to pour here. Good thing I'm under shelter. And I've got a little Bobo kit. I also have water purification. So if you looked at my kit, I actually have 3 ways of purifying water. I have a filter, I can boil water in the canteen cup, and I have tablets I can put in here. These are portable agua, chlorine dioxide. And so, again, it works. And I wanted to stop here real quick and talk about my kits. My EDC is actually a part of my get home bag, and my get home bag is a part of my bob. There's very little duplication between the two of them, and that's because I by having it set up that way, I see my gear more. I mean, I go through my kits probably about once a month, but my get home bag, which can also work as a pretty good bug out bag, I'm in it all the time. I'm always looking at the stuff in here. I'm always in it, pulling things out, using them, putting them back. And that's one thing you gotta get in the habit of doing, is always touching your stuff and making sure it works. Very important. Making sure things aren't ripped, torn, deteriorated, disintegrated, eaten by a mouse. I watched the guy open up a bob that he hadn't used in a while, and the insides were just crumbling, falling apart. Very little of it's usable. So, like I said, my get home bag actually makes a pretty good bob, and my bob just has a few extra things I need to make life a little more comfortable. So, but I could survive pretty well with just what I carry with me. This is about a 15-pound bag. All right, moving along. Since we're on the medical side, I keep a set of shears with me. These are made by Madison Supply. Really nice shears. They'll cut anything. I carry a tourniquet, another tourniquet with me, so I have 2 tourniquets. And I have an Israeli bandage. So that kind of rounds out the first aid stuff. Inside here, I have an E&E kit. It's got different things. It's got fire stars. It's got space blankets, some T-candles. It's got a ferro rod, a couple CR123 batteries. I'll talk about those in a minute. But just it's just my E&E kit. And if I couldn't bring my bag for whatever reason, I would grab this and my EDC and my pistol, and away I go. I can slip this into like this will probably fit in a cargo pocket. It might fit in some of my work jean back pockets. So, but it's waterproof. It's a waterproof container, and this is like an E&E kit. All right. Spoons. I have 2 spoons. I always carry 1 spoon with me. In this case, I have 2. No other reason than I have them. I have a set of earphones for my iPhone, so I can do listen to some clandestine rock and roll. A roll of duct tape, 1 inch. I used to get the bigger stuff, but really this works well. This is Gorilla Tape, makes a great band-aid. Navigation. I carry a Sunto MC2 Global. What I like about this is not only is it a good compass, but it's got a signal mirror, and also I can inspect parts of my body that I can't normally see. It's got a magnifying glass. On this I carry a set of Ranger beads, and I carry a whistle and a little protractor. If I was in a position where I was navigating, this would go around my neck, which is why I have these other things. Everything will be right here. This is my navigation kit right here. All right. One 20-round magazine, 5.56. I don't think I need to see any more about that. This is a little Zeiss binocular I bought about 40-something years ago. It's an 8x20. It's not a pair of binoculars, but when you need to get a little peek at something, this comes in handy. It weighs next to nothing. All right. I have some rope. It's probably about 5 pieces of 550 cord. They're 6-foot pieces. I do it for a couple of reasons. Because a lot of times if I'm tying something off, I don't need a 12-foot or 20-foot piece. I need a 5 or 6-foot piece. So I have these. And what's nice is look at this. Look, boom. I pulled that out of the rat's nest. When you have short pieces, they all come apart, so I don't have to worry about making it nice and pretty. Plus I know knots that come apart as easy as you tie them together, so there's no, infinity knot there that you'll never get loose. So I carry these. I find the 6-foot length about the easiest to use. It's raining outside, but speaking of rain, I have an umbrella. People say, why do you carry an umbrella? Well, if you're in a situation and it's gone south and you're not in your vehicle, you've got your backpack on and you're trying to run through the woods, and all of a sudden it starts to pour rain and you need to stop to look at a map, or you need to stop and think, or you need to stop and do something, you can pop this little umbrella. It weighs about 5 ounces. It's not a big umbrella, but it's enough to give you a little chance where you can start thinking about what you're doing and not thinking about why you're getting so wet. It also, too, you can turn these things, turn them sideways, and they make a pretty good windbreak. If you're in the woods, you kind of prop it up against a tree, put some brush in front of it for camouflage, and you got a little windbreak. You get that wind off, you can stay a little bit warmer. So I carry one. People kind of laugh at me, but it's worked for me in the past. Today's warfighter carries chemins. Back when I was in, it was the old OD triangular bandage. I believe this one is actually from back in that time. I carry it with me. It has the same use as a hat, face mask, camouflage, bandage, headgear. It's multiple uses. I carry one with me. All right. I also carry chest seals with me. These are Halo. One's vented, one's not. But I keep them with me. Again, if you have a gun, if you think you're going to be in a situation where you're going to be shooting at somebody, that probably means somebody is shooting back at you. If they're not shooting back, then you shouldn't be shooting, you should be running. But that being said, you are your own combat medic, so have some chest seals with you and be able to get to them. This is nothing more than a travel-sized bottle of Aleve. I use it, I keep it separate from my first aid kit because I'm in this quite a bit. Being an older guy, I got aches and pains, I get headaches, And so I keep this in a very easily to get at spot in my bag. And then, when I do my monthly checks, I look at it, and if I need to top it off, I just keep adding more into it. I don't buy a new tube. I have a big bottle of Aleve at home. Believe me, you get my age, you will have a big bottle of Aleve or ibuprofen, whatever your flavor is, because you're in it more. And so I just keep this topped off, and that way it keeps the police happy if they, find some strange pills, if they're unmarked. So, but this stays in a very prominent spot. I also have a little screwdriver here. I use it for two things. One, I use it to adjust the declination of my compass, which is set for true north for this area. And I can also fix my eyeglasses. Let's see. I keep a pencil and a pen with me. The pen has a Fisher Space refill in it. It's also a tactical pen. It's made out of aluminum. This is made by Black Fly Creations. It's pretty cheap, but it'll do the job. Then I have a bunch of wet ones, dude wipes, and some eyeglass cleaning things. I keep these in here. Sometimes you just need to wipe your hands after touching something, or but there's just no good replacement for something like this. So I keep a handful in there with me. I also keep some bug towelettes with me to help me make it through the night, at least the first night, till I can get my bearings and move on. Pastor Joe Fox in Viking Preparedness talked about the True Night TC15. I got one, and I like it too. What I like about it is this is a rechargeable flashlight, and everything that's in my tech bag to recharge my phone will recharge this thing too, so I don't have to carry extra batteries for it. Love it. Alright, I carry 2 sets of batteries with me, AAA for my little flashlight. Again, I use that as part of my profession, so I need to make sure I have enough batteries to keep it going. These are double A's. I use these with a laser rangefinder that I also use as a part of my profession, which is right here. This is the laser measurer, and this is a target for when I don't have a 90-degree wall to bounce the laser off of. I can use this. And so this, you know, it's not really a get home, you know, sort of thing, but it is in my bag. It's everything I got going on. So just wrapping this up, this is my EDC kit, which is a part of my get home bag, and then I'll do another video on the so-called Bob. But this is part of Viking Training Task number 3 with Pastor Joe and Viking Preparedness. Great channel. Subscribe to his Patreon. He puts out a lot of good stuff. He's one of the few people that I actually pay money to support his cause, because he's out there to help you, and he's not he's not out there to monetize for himself. And so I really appreciate all the things that he does for people, and I appreciate him. I met him personally. You know, we exchange emails. I think the two of us, you know, think kind of alike. He's got a better online presence than I do, but can't have everything. So this is it. Again, keep your stuff together. Look at it often. Keep it up to date. Check expiration dates, because you want that stuff to work when you need it. And so my next video will probably be about the Bob, and we'll talk to you later. Everybody stay safe and stay secure.